Oh, welcome back. It's been quite a long time since I've been in the garage. And the next thing we were trying to do with this bike was to mount the seat unit onto the bike and then to mount the battery into the seat unit. Okay then, so we had slight issues with the battery in the first instance due to space and space available. A bit of a slight miscalculation from my part. I know it's not like me to miscalculate things, but I did ever so slightly here. So we're not going to mount the battery at the minute, but we're going to fit the seat unit. But let's just talk about the battery quickly. We need a battery to turn over this huge old engine here. Look at the size of that starter motor. It's not exactly a small thing. It's a twin. Oh, for God's sake, not again. Joe.
Going to be YouTube famous.
You're going to be YouTube famous again. Hey, happy birthday, Joe. Joe's birthday today. So back to it before we were so rudely interrupted then. Yeah, starter motor. We've got to be able to turn it over. We reckon around about 130 amps or so is that could pull, allegedly. What do you think? Yes. Okay. Just trying to see what sort of current this starter's going to draw. Now, I don't have an old r80, but I do have this thing here, which is a flat boxer twin. What cc is this?
1100.
This is 1100. So maybe the consumption will be more because it's a bigger engine. However, it is a little newer, as you can see. How old is this?
97.
97, so that's quite a lot newer. But our assumption, or rather not our assumption, my assumption is that there isn't going to be a huge amount of difference between the current consumed by this starter motor and by my bike. It's around about 22 degrees in here, 21 degrees,
yes.
20,
yeah,
room temperature, nice comfortable room temperature. This bike's been sat here overnight. And we have then a 1000 amp clamp at the top, a 100 amp clamp at the bottom.
Have you, are you on a single shot? Are you on?
No, it should be green light.
Okay. So, you ready?
Yeah. Okay, good. So that was just over 100 amps, 110 amps.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll assume the same thing. We need 110-ish amps. Mate, thank you very much indeed, much appreciated. Brilliant. So this thing drawing 110 amps when we're cranking it over. Mine will be similar. We'll go more, let's say 130, just for a bit of extra. But good, yeah, that's what we needed to do. Okay, back to it. So battery off of the bike is this huge thing here, and I kind of calculated for a, I did actually buy I ordered a battery a long time ago and I had some money, and the wrong one came through, so we cancelled it. And we didn't buy another one, so we've got no money again now, but that's not the point. We went for a gel type battery then, which is this one, which we could mount anyway up and it would do the job. And I made the seat unit, I had that sort of borne in mind anyway with the seat unit, but it would fit, but it would be it would be super tight in there. So we're going to have a change of plan. We're going to go lithium ion here. Now then, let's get that gel battery back. So this is our gel battery that would have done the job. This is a lithium ion battery. That in theory, looking at everything that's been said and all of the specs and everything else, it will just about do the job. Just about. do the job. It's bloody expensive and I can't afford to buy one at the minute, so it'll be one for next month. But when you look at the size of it compared to the gel battery, it'll be a lot easier to fit. And compared to the old battery, yeah, well, there's no comparison really, is there? Now this is an 8-cell lithium-ion battery, and that's a 4-cell lithium-ion battery. Now really, I would like a 12-cell lithium-ion battery, but would you believe I can't fit one in the space? But I can fit an 8-cell and a 4-cell together, because together they are actually smaller than a 12-cell. So what we're going to do in the first place, we're going to make a battery box up that will actually house both of these batteries. And if the 8-cell isn't quite man enough for the job, which I think it will be, I want enough space that I can then put a 4-cell alongside it. Okay, and connect them up in parallel just to give me a little bit more capacitance. Okay, that's the plan. So we're going to fit this. This is our lithium-ion 8-cell battery. This is one it's going to fit, but we're going to give us enough space to fit those two. That's enough on batteries at the minute, because the first thing we're going to do is make this seat unit fit, and then we'll see how much space we have at the back. Okay, so this is the plan. This is what we're going to do in the first place. We are going to then, this is my seat unit. This is looking side on, so that's the rear subframe there at the moment, and this is where the battery is going to sit in there. So the first thing we're going to do is put a small piece, we're going to do that still so we can weld it to the actual subframe. Okay, so move, no, don't do that, no. Little piece there, and a little piece at the front, and then the seat unit itself, so we'll have a bit that will come up there, and a bit that will come up the side there, and that will stop the seat unit from being able to slide backwards and forwards. So we started welding some bits on here. So here's the plate at the back that the seat's going to go onto the back. Now change of plan here just because of the way that this has actually worked. So we have a flat plate welded across there, a flat plate welded across there. This is where we're going to bolt the seat down. Quite a bit of rubber, because I don't want the seat, there's going to be a lot of vibration on this bike, isn't there? So we don't want the seat rubbing through onto the on the fiberglass of the seat unit, rubbing through on the metal. So I'll put a little bit of rubber across the back there. So I get the seat unit then. Now this is actually working a lot easier than I thought it would. Seat unit. Okay, so now you can see this will have a little bit of foam just around it, just to seal. But that's centered there. Where this has gone down then onto the plate that's going up here like this, this can no longer move forwards or backwards because it's actually the back end of that is touching, and just because of the friction of it, it can't actually go sideways either, which means that will do for mounting of the seat unit. Perfect. All I've got to do then is drill 4 holes in here, 1, 2, 3, 4 in here that will match up with those 2 plates underneath, And then when I bolt the seat pad on, it will bolt this down, and this just lines up. It can't not line up, it's perfect. Okay, so remember we were going to make it big enough for the 8-cell and the 4-cell battery. So they can fit in there very nicely that way round, which basically means that I'm going to mount this one in there like that. So this is the one that we're going to use, but we will make enough space that we can fit the other little one in as well. It can't mount on top of this. It's got to drop down about sort of 5 mil or so at least, which means what I'm going to do, I'm going to weld a plate. So the bottom bit of the battery, I'm going to make it out of steel because I'm just going to weld it. I'm going to weld a plate onto here, just a couple of millimeters up from the bottom. Okay, so that's the first part of the battery tray. We're going to actually weld a part to the subframe. So I'll just cut a bit up out of that sheet steel and just tack it on there just to see what it looks like. So this is the base plate then. And okay, so this is perfect really. This will go in there like that. It's just wedged in there at the moment. Now then, if I need both batteries, they will sit in there fantastic, like so. So plenty of space. And if I only need one of them, so just so it goes and this does the job, and I think it will, but just in case, I can just put it in. Ooh, just like that. Any way you like. But basically, anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tack this onto here. And I'll let me get this tacked onto here, and then we'll have a chat about what I think. So then, where are we? We have welded on a plate underneath for it to sit on, and we've welded it all the way around the edge inside, so it's sealed anyway. Not that it needs to be, but it is. I've got some of that rubber matting. You know, when I was doing the sandblasting, I had that big rubber matting, so I've cut some of that off, and I've used some on the bottom, so just a little face or something for the battery to sit in. And then all I've done is just made a little strap to go over the top of the battery, and I've put the rubber inside it as well, so that should hold it in there nice and tight. Obviously, when we get the real battery, we might need to tweak this a little bit, but in theory, it's that size anyway. Now then, so the reason we're doing it like this is just in case this battery isn't big enough. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be. Let's go positive here. I'll go for, it's called an antigravity 8-cell battery, and from everything I've read, I think it will do the job. But just in case it starts to struggle, we can get the same one, like an anti-gravity 4-cell battery, and there will be enough space to put it in as well. I can't fit, because they do a 12-cell as well, I can't fit the 12-cell in here. Stupid, isn't it? Stupid. Never mind. I'm sure this will do. I'm sure it will do. Okay, now because we're using lithium-ion battery, then we will probably need a different voltage regulator on this thing. But these are the sort of things we won't know until we get the thing running. Okay, so we'll have to wait until we can see what sort of current it is drawing when we crank it, and how much we're getting back out of the charger when the engine's running at full chat. You know, but these things we just can't tell. We need to get the bike running before we can do it. So what we'll do is when we first get the thing running, we'll do it off a set of jump leads off of this thing until we know exactly what we're doing. Okay. But that looks pretty neat to me. I quite like that. That's good. Well, you're not going to see it anyway because it'll be bolted away. It will give us space for a regulator and a starter relay, because I'm going to put the starter relay up here as well. If this battery stays there. Okay. Okay, so to make the bottom piece, we've just put the seat unit on this piece of aluminium, drawn around the outside of it. So now we have a line where it is. I'll just cut it about sort of 2mm inside that line all the way around, and then it should fit with a bit of luck. Okay, so 4 M6 holes drilled in there. So when the seat pad bolts down, then this will be tight. This can't move anywhere because it can't move backwards and forwards and side to side. Fantastic. And then just cut this down into shape. So this is our under part. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just drill a couple of holes. Let me just drill a couple of holes and bolt that on there, and then you'll see what it looks like. Okay, so the seat unit is as good as done, I believe. 4 bolt holes here. These will bolt down with the seat pad. So when the seat pad is on, that'll be nicely tightened down. Underneath, faced off with a bit of aluminium. Fantastic. So in the real world, what will happen is this will bolt on first with the seat pad, and then this will bolt on afterwards. That'll be the last thing to go on with the aluminium under tray. So you won't be able to take this off in the real world until you've taken the bottom bit off, but you can, because it isn't the real world just yet, is it? Okay, so underneath we have, this is where the seat sits up against. Got to put a rubber pad up against here. Fine, battery's going to sit there. I've got a bit of space for some electronic-y bits that I might need, start motor, regulator, that kind of thing. Again, until we get it running, we won't know voltages or anything. And that'll be a while yet, won't it? Let's face it. One schoolboy error I have noticed is underneath there, I need to drill a hole in that bar because my electrics are going to run forwards underneath here, underneath, and then they've got to go into the bike through there, but that's not too much of an issue. Yes, so I think that's just about done. I reckon that's just about done. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to have a look at my big list of things to do and decide what we're going to do next. I think what I might quite like to do, I said earlier on, I really want to start cleaning some of these bits up. And I think maybe getting the frame cleaned up and getting the rear swinging arm cleaned up and things like that might be quite a nice thing to do now. Yeah, I'll have a little think about it, and then I'll come back to you on the next video. But this is current state of affairs. This is bike as is. Yeah, she's looking good. Looking good.